Hi, my friend, it's Pat Sloan here. It is Monday and we are in the happiness is scrappiness time frame. This is such a fun sew along, and the blocks have been really fun. They're not too complex. Today's are little tiny pieces, but it's just one block. It's not very big. So let's first take a look at that, because I want to talk a little bit deeper about the book as well. So let's go to the other side. Before we look at the check mix fabrics I'm going to use, I thought I'd just tell you a little bit about the book. So in case you haven't sort of explored the beginning part of this book, it is written by Lori Holt. I know a lot of you are very familiar with Lori's work, but if you're not, she is an author, a fabric designer with Riley Blake, and she likes scraps. So she has, in the beginning here, a whole system, a whole section that talks about, oh, she has the same sign I have, cotton. I have that sign too. So she talks about her scrap system, there's her bins. But here is, if you've watched her videos, you've seen these little trays with the fabrics in them. And she has this particular process that she goes through and how she keeps things. And I'm sure she doesn't keep tons and tons and tons of stuff, because none of us have that much space. I know I've seen some little tours of her space. It's not much bigger, if not the same size as mine, so we're very limited. But there she tells you about how she processes the fabric and how she thinks about it. It's very color coordinated and size coordinated. There's a little bit about her notions, and there she shows you how she's cutting things from particular lengths of fabric, cutting up for the system that she likes to use. And then we're working right now on these beginning blocks for the Scrappiness is Happiness from what she calls the one block wonder, which means it's one block set side by side. There's no sashing. And so we are on this one, which is check mix. And this particular picture, she has the inside part without the border on it, just sitting on a board. So it's just sitting on the board. This is not the border of the block. The border will come right up to the edge of the fabric. So it's basically what she did, you can see, is a background and then scrappy for all of the colors. And so I thought, what can I do? And these are little blocks. These are teeny tiny blocks. So I thought, well, maybe for this one, instead of using the blue that I have here, instead of using this blue, maybe what I will do is work on, we work on a light background. And here's got these cute little bees. And then I don't want to make it scrappy. So I was thinking of, so this will be the background. And that means I'll have to have a border on this block of something. So I was thinking yellow with a border, like yellow squares, and then a border of teal around it, which would then go against this. But to get scrappy, I don't want to necessarily, here's all the yellow fabrics from this fabric line I'm using by Bev McCulloch. But I also have, let me just show you, my scraps, because I work a little bit differently. My space is really small and I have a lot of stuff in it already, and I don't work scraps that much. So I keep these shoe boxes. These are basically what they're called. This is Sterilite, I think is the company. Yeah, Sterilite, and they're called the shoebox size. And I keep 2.5 inch squares, and that's pretty much it. I have 2 of these that have strips from the year when I was doing sewing all my strips up, my fabric up into crumb blocks. I also cut 2 bins of strips, so I have 2 this size of just 2.5 inch strips. And then the rest of them are 4 of these, just 4 by color. So this happens to have white, some brown, orange, and yellow. So for the yellow, what I thought I would do would be to go through here. Maybe I'll cut a couple of squares off of the fabric line, and then go in and cut the rest of the squares for the block from the scraps that I have, the 2.5 inch scraps. So I'll just cut them down, and that way it'll give me some variety, and I will make them all different. I will do the same thing. So my block will be similar of yellow and the white bee fabric, then a border, and then this will be the background and the sashing of the quilt. So when you take a look at the picture of the layout, this block does have sashing all the way around it. So this is, I'm calling this a border onto the block, and then it'll have the blue sashing all the way around it as it goes next to other blocks. So that is my plan for this check mix. And so let's take a look at the yellows, because these are kind of warm. They're not bright yellows, they're kind of warm, a little bit slightly muted yellows. So I want to get a couple of those out of here, because I do tend to have, you know, there's a variety. So I could get, let's come in closer. So I have a little bit, I have some options. So do I want to have things with a lot more color on them like this? Because that definitely works. So let me just toss that in there. I've got this, like this line here. If I want to have one block with a little bit of other color on it, then I probably need to have a few more. Like here's one, here's a good one. This got, right? Well, I need one of these. I'll make them all different. Here's from the spider web. So I have a lot of them that do not have other colors. So maybe I will go ahead and take that one out. So that's where I don't have odd man out. Put that solid in there. And here's one where we're talking frugal, because I have a seam on it even. So I'm going to leave him in there too. And what else do I have? I have here, I don't even know how many I need, but I'm just going to get a couple more from in the bin here. Whoops. So here is, this is a cafe that's got a peach flower on it. But see, if that's too significant. So I want to do things that are a little less than that, because here's a flannel. This is a woven flannel. It's actually sometimes called a brushed cotton. I don't know if you can see, it looks like a little fuzzy on that side, and when I turn it over, it's crisp. So I'll put that one in there because that'll be fun. And this is pretty. Well, here's a one with a line on it, and then here's another one that's really light, maybe a little bit more tan. I don't know, maybe he's not yellow enough, but I don't know, I kind of like him. So I like the little boat, the little hat. Oh, cute. Okay, I'm going to put him, I'm going to swap him. I'll leave him. Okay, so this is good. So I will cut these all to size and cut my bee fabric and make the check mix block. I want to show you how I approach sewing these. So I've done 2 at a time, chain sew the first grouping, 2 at a time, this grouping. Now what I'm going to do is sew all of these to this section here. So I'll have 3 across. Then I'm going to clip and sew 2s and 2s, 2s and 2s, and then sew that bottom row. Then these 2 to each other, these 2 to each other. Remember, it'll have that 3rd one on it. And then sew the bottom row to that. So I'm basically chunking it. I'm doing little chunks, and that works really well for me. So I just want to show you again where this is my scrap system right here. This is it, plus the blocks, which are another place that I did all those crumb blocks. But these are the raw material. This is the shoe boxes with the 2.5-inch squares I just showed you. And then these bottom 2 down here are strips. So they don't have squares, they're just strips like this, lights, and then that one's darks. And I do have in this side the aqua, because I'm working with that one. And did I put it on the top? Yes, the top, which is also all the horse fabric from my great niece's quilt. But here's the aqua, because this is the one that I'm working on. So I've got all of that in here. But normally they would just be in a bin down here. Oops, get in there. So this is it. I don't keep anything else but that for scraps. Well, I thought you might want to see the blocks. So here are the aqua blocks. So nice. And then in here are also all of the scrap blocks that I did, and some, like, there's a panel to work with, some panels, but these are all the scrap blocks that I did in 2021. Here is my block. I'll get it up close here so you can see. I've got the little hat, the paper hat up here. And I did do a few of the fabrics from the collection, which is this one and the bee fabric. And so this looks super good. Now let me show you all 3. The other blocks are big. So the bee block, like there we've got the bee, which is, this is the background I'm using, which is one of Bev's new basic. And then the mushrooms. Oh boy. So there we go. So we've got the bee and the mushrooms and the new check mix. So they are all looking really wonderful. Let me put the check mix next to the mushroom there. I think I can do that. Here we go. So it kind of looks on the side there. So you can see that's what it'll look like against the sashing. It'll be next to the blue. So that aqua really turns, you know, shows up really well. Oh, these are just so, so cute. I love them. Just love them. And I've also been keeping the blocks because this makes me so happy every time I open it. Look at the little hedgy fabrics. These were made by Creative Carol at Etsy. Let me see her card there. There's her card. So she sent me this one. Isn't that darling? And then they have their little village. You know, I play Pocket Camp Animal Crossing just for relaxation, and they have little critters and villages, and it's just so fun. This reminds me of it. The if you're any other Pocket Camp people out there, let me know. So I love it. Okay, so anyways, I just had to ooh and ah over that another minute because they're so cute. All right, let's do a mail call first. First, I have a wonderful, they're both from Canada, both of them from Canada. And this is a beautiful birthday card, so darling, with the ice cream truck. And this is from Diane in Ontario, Canada. Like, oh, so cute, huh? And then I got a card from Wynn, and she is, I forget what area of Canada she is in. I didn't write it down. But look how sweet this is. Doesn't this bring back memories of you and your best friend in the summer? Like, look how cute. Look how cute. Now she sent me some chocolate fabric. Oh, darling. Darling, darling. And I thank you for the birthday wishes, everybody. My birthday is the 26th, but I'm getting wishes early, which is so nice. Look at the chocolates. Ah, yummy, yummy. They look real. They look like a photo done, don't they? So cool. And then some real chocolate. The Mars. The Mars bars, so good, because you know they only make Mars bars outside of the United States. You can buy them in the United States, but they're always sold as international candy. That's just the way the manufacturer is. But these are little minis. I love here that it says shown actual size. You know how often it's the other way, they go not the actual size because they show it really upscaled, but no, this is the actual size. Little minis, so good. Okay, few other things. Your Jolly boxes, if you have not ordered yet, order because they are shipping, and it is so cute. It's heavy. It's heavy. It's got good stuff in it. It's cute, and I am going to make the project in here. Yes, I am, because it is so darn darling. It is so cute. Okay, I also want to tell you and thank you. Oh my gosh, here's where I wish I had graphics ability so I could have confetti flying all over the place right now. The Virginia Quilt Museum auction ended, and all of you were amazingly generous. All the quilts were auctioned and sold. So you say they're going to go to new homes. The museum's shipping them all out this week. You raised $11,000 for the Virginia Quilt Museum, which is only about quilts. There's nothing else about it. It's in Harrisonburg, Virginia, which is just south of me a couple of hours. It is in a Civil War, a pre-Civil War era home, and so the home is spectacular, just spectacular, in really good condition, so that you can sort of see and feel what the home was like. It was not changed a lot over the years. They have a beautiful staircase that goes upstairs, and you can go up to the second floor, so it is awesome. And the museum director, she sent me this. Isn't that beautiful? Look at this. Look at this. Ah, the sunflowers are still opening. I was so surprised. So thank you, Virginia Quilt Museum, for partnering and taking a chance to try this out. This is an experiment. They've never auctioned somebody's quilts to raise money for the museum, so they felt it was hugely successful, and I agree. So thank you, mwah, mwah, to all of you who won the bids, and there are a lot of you that didn't win because there were a lot of bids on the quilts, and that is awesome. That is so awesome. So maybe we'll do it again. Maybe I have some more quilts. So I have to talk to the museum about that, but who knows? Maybe we'll do another one in 2023, and definitely I will let you know about it. You will always know. Okay, I also want to remind you about the Snapdragon blocks. There is a kit for the Snapdragon, and there are there's a pattern too. So if you don't want to buy my fabric, but this is my sleepover fabric, and there is a kit, and I want to show you 3 pink blocks. So look how fun these blocks are. So it is so great. You just have 2 fabrics per block, and then going, and so I'm going to do a little bit bigger scale pink. There we are, from my sleepover fabric. I think this is going to be such fun. And ta-da! Here's another one. So the link is in the description box and at my website today, so that you can pick up a kit or at least the pattern, so you'll be able to sew along. I have the sew along scheduled to start in December. We'll do just maybe 1 or 2 blocks a week in December, and then wrap it up in January. So I have to lay that out. And speaking of like project pages, I'm a little behind getting some project pages out there and updating some project pages. So I just sort of took I need a little mental break from that sort of computer work, and so I will get working on that. I will have it done in the next few days. When I just have to decide one day, I was like, okay, it's computer day, and sit down and do all that stuff. All right, my friend. So you are making, where is it? You are making the little check mix block, and I'm curious if you have a scrap system. My system is super simple because I just keep 2.5-inch squares, and I have some strips. That's light and dark strips. That's pretty much all I do. And my focus isn't on using scraps as my primary way to quilt, but some of you that is, and so you might use a scrap system like Lori's or Bonnie Hunter's or somebody else's, or a version of your own. So if you do that, I would love to hear about it in the description box down below here at YouTube. All right, so here we go. Time for a little scrappiness love, and thank you again for supporting the Virginia Quilt Museum. You are amazing. So I love you. Mwah. Thank you for being here in the Sloan Zone. I will see you online.